Welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. My name is Teemaree. This is the ALLSWELL Lifestyle Show. It's all about feeling good and being empowered. I specialize in personal development, wellness, and spirituality, and I basically provide products, practices, and coaching to help you achieve your goals and your success in those areas. Today, I'm going to be talking about coping with anxiety. Coping with anxiety. I know that it is something that, we all face at different points in our lives. And I'll just let you know right now, I have to admit, I've been getting a little bit anxious about these monkeypox reports. Friends, oh my gosh, this whole monkeypox thing, it hits a few buttons for me. I love things to be very clean. Okay, so when they talk about the transmission and I'm seeing these social media videos with people out and about apparently having the pox, then of course I care very much about my health, our health in general. I don't want anyone anywhere to be in pain, to have any sores, to be sick. So that it just gets me in a number of ways. And I've been feeling a little bit anxious. I have to admit, I still go places with my mask. I still maintain social distance. I still wash my hands and I take sanitizer with me and keep my hands clean. But I've been finding that I have been feeling a little bit of anxiety over this whole monkeypox situation. So I wanted to talk about just dealing with anxiety in general. We all have things that may make us a little more anxious than not. Some of us deal with anxiety on a regular basis. So today we're going to be talking about coping with anxiety, dealing with anxiety. We're going to get into it. Are you anxious about something? If so, let me know. Comment, chat, tweet me, however you can. Let me know what's going on. We're going to get to it today. We're going to talk about it. We're going to remember everything's going to be all right. Okay? Let's do it. Come on. Today, we're going to be focusing on coping with anxiety, and we're kicking off just addressing it. Number one, I've been feeling a little anxious around this monkeypox thing. And so I wanted to talk about it because there's all kinds of things right now that might be making you anxious. Listen, even though that's the truth and we can admit it, hey, I feel a little something. We're going to talk about tips and ways that we can get over it and be strong in the midst. Okay, so the first tip, the first thing I want to offer here is to breathe. To breathe. Now, I know you might be thinking, I am already breathing, Teemaree. I'm alive. Hey. Look, I'm here for you, honey. You could talk to me. I'm your friend in personal development, wellness, and spirituality. So let's be real with each other. I know we're always breathing, but the quality of our breath can be increased, and thereby it will increase our sense of peace and calm and joy. You feel me? So we're going to talk about breathing real quick, because when we get anxious, we either hold our breath or we breathe shallow. Okay. And those two actions can actually scientifically, physically increase our sensation of stress and anxiety and panic, etc. So what we want to do is we just want to really take a full breath, whatever that means for you, a full breath when we're finding that we're getting a little anxious. What it has helped me with, and what I can tell you firsthand, is that when I do that, it gives me a quick buffer between the anxiety that's setting in and kind of the reality of the moment. And that's very refreshing, because I'll be like, oh man, I'm kind of, people are, oh gosh, have they cleaned this surface? And then I'm like, breathe. Okay, it's all good. Everything's fine. I don't have to be touching anything. You can just kind of give yourself a reset. And again, it will physically help you. It scientifically will help you when you change the quality of your breath when panic, anxiety, or stress is coming in. So the first tip is to breathe. as cleansing of a breath as you can make it. You can open your mouth or keep it closed. That is tip number 1. Today, we're talking about coping with anxiety. We're going to walk through it together, and we're going to come out the other side of this, okay? To allow us to be able to receive whatever's happening and then let it go. Yes, today we're talking about coping with stress. Coping with anxiety, coping with that panic that may be setting in from the news reports, from something you might have on your mind, a transition that you're going through. And we're addressing it, and then we're talking about ways to move through it, get over it, handle it, and be able to live our lives. My name is Teemaree. I make transformation easy with products, practices, and coaching. This is ALLSWELL Lifestyle, and it's always about feeling good and being empowered. So we move on to the next tip now. Something that has helped me ever since I was a little girl. It has been this tip. It's returning to logic. I remember when I was a little girl walking myself home from school alone, and I would have to lock the door and enter our apartment, and I would be terrified. There was a section of time when I was walking myself home from school, and the killer that became famous, he was called the Night Stalker back in the day. And I would always be just terrified that there would be somebody in the apartment and they would get me. And you know, I'm coming home by myself. I'm a little girl. I think I'm like elementary school age. And so I would use my logic. So it's something I've counted on ever since I was a little girl. So what we can do is we can utilize our logic to help walk us through when fear, panic, anxiety, or immense stress comes over us, right? So, you know, whatever we can do to walk us through that fear, that panic, that stress, that anxiety. This logic tip, I'm telling you, it has been super clutch in helping me in times. I mean, I was a kid. And so I would say, oh my gosh, you know, all of a sudden that panic comes in, that panic that we feel sometimes like someone's behind me or someone's going to jump out. And it's like, no one's here. If someone was here, I would have seen them already. I am safe. Everything is okay. Look, I'm by myself. You know, nothing has been changed or moved. The doors weren't open, whatever, you know, but helping ourselves walk through states of anxiety with logic can be something we can count on because it helps to ground us in what is true when our thoughts and our worries are just swimming and taking us on a ride. So I really, really hope that this helps you, because right now with these news reports, friends, that come out on the daily, we can be just continuously stressed and anxious and worried. And so what we can do is just come to logic in whatever that report is or whatever's going on right now. You know, what can we count on? What is true? Especially when our thoughts start taking us on that bad fantasy ride. You know what I'm saying? So let's do that. And remember, because we have come through so much already, and we are still here, and we are strong, and we are able, and we are capable. And so let's remember to use breath, to use logic, because we've come through a lot already. And we're going to continue to come through more, like those beautiful butterflies that come through what seem like chaos, only to emerge beautiful, vibrant, and more expansive. Oof, I love that song. I hope that you're feeling it too. We're talking about coping with anxiety, stress, panic, those things that come in, and we are getting rid of it with all natural, holistic, personal development, wellness techniques. I'm telling you, friends, these things work and they can help us. And what I love about it is that you do not need a prescription for this, and you do not need a doctor, and you do not need anything that's going to give you negative side effects in this case. Not saying anything negative to the people that do require extra tools. But I love these because you can use them anytime, anywhere, any place, and they are yours to keep, and they won't be bad for you. Yes! So we move on. So the next thing we want to do, and that will help us, and I'm telling you, this has been helping me right now big time. So TikTok has become my little fun place. Okay. TikTok has become my little fun place. I have to admit it. I used to love Instagram. Now I really enjoy TikTok as a viewer because I just find a lot of funny things on there. I find a lot of things that are like cool DIY stuff, and it's just quick and fast. And so it's my little fun place, right? And then the pox videos came. Oh my gosh, friends, it was a real damper because then I started to feel stressed because they just pop up. So I'm enjoying my life and all of a sudden I'll see somebody with like sores all over them and they're talking about their symptoms and it's like, oh, here's the next tips, friends. Here's the next tip, because right now in this day and age, stuff is coming at us and we are not asking for it. So what do? We unplug. And this is how we can do that. If TikTok is a perfect example, it just will come up maybe on your feed. Do not engage. I repeat, do not engage, because that is just saying yes to the algorithm wizards and more of that will come. So if there is something that is causing you stress, panic, or anxiety, we must unplug. It doesn't have to be forever. I'm not saying don't be informed. I'm not saying cut off that person forever. But friends, unplugging is good. You know how even our super fancy, powerful computers that seem to help us run our lives with ease, what's the first thing? The first thing that we're told, turn it off. So friends, these things work. The next tip with dealing with anxiety is unplug. Whatever's making you anxious, you can identify that as the source of your anxiety. And so we need to unplug from it. Okay. So if you find yourself becoming a worried, anxious person and you're like, why? I used to not be like this. Are you watching the news all afternoon? We just identify the thing it is. There's nothing wrong. There is no judgment. It's just being clear so that we could unplug. Okay. So that's the next tip, because we need good vibes. We need them. It's of the utmost importance, not just for our heart health, but for our mental health and for ultimately our quality of life. Good vibes are so, so key, friends. It is very important. Today, we're talking about coping with anxiety. And so it's very important. The vibes we have around us affect us on the deepest level. So we move into the next tip that I want to offer. If you're dealing with anxiety, I've found that not just with our breath, but also physically, when we're dealing with anxiety, stress, we tend to freeze. We tend to freeze and stay kind of sedentary or still, if you will. So case in point, let's say you're worried about something. What do? You go to the computer to research, you're frozen seated, or maybe you're depressed or stressed. Sometimes anxiety can be overwhelming and leave us paralyzed, where we just, all of a sudden, what happens? We don't feel like doing anything. So we stay laying around. We want to just kind of be maybe on the couch watching something. So this tip is important. And the tip is to move. So when we move, we're able to change our mental state by changing our physical state. It's a wonderful thing. It's a fast track. And it helps us to kind of break what's going on, the spell that we're under, if you will. I don't know if you've ever watched The Dog Whisperer with Cesar Millan. And what's cool is like the dog will be doing something and he'll do that. Shh. And the dog's like, oh, wait, what was I? Huh? And we're like that. We are like that. So, instead of doing the thing you might first be prone to do, moving can really be a wonderful way that can help you. I have a yoga for fear practice that uses this principle. Now, what I love about it is that there's a flow, so you could practice a quick flow, or I've broken it down as a posture practice, which means just doing one posture can help you to basically blast through fear that might be stored in the body or fear, anxiety, and stress that's kind of coming on, and help you to put your body in a different shape, if you will, in a different position, if you will. And then all of a sudden, we're releasing things and we have a new perspective. So I have a yoga for fear practice. You can check that out at teemaree.com, TEEMAREE.com. And that is under my events page, because that is basically something you would get unlimited access to do whenever you want, etc., either as a flow or the posture that speaks to you. That's the yoga for fear practice. Let's move into the PowerPoint. Woohoo! So essentially, listen, there are natural steps that we can take when we are feeling anxiety. Anxiety happens. There's nothing wrong with us if it happens, but there are natural steps that we can take that can help us with any anxiety that we feel. We can breathe. We can return to our logic, returning to what is true in this moment, not the news report, not the comments on social media, not the inflammatory voices, not the scary TikToks, but what's true right now. Let me see. I'm cool. I'm safe. That isn't happening in this moment, etc. We can unplug from the source of anxiety. Like I said, as soon as my feed starts serving those things up, I get off TikTok altogether, and I don't engage with those at all, because I'm like, nope, I don't like that. Don't show me that. And some social media now, you can actually say, I don't want to see that, etc. So that's a tip as well. But unplugging from the source of anxiety, it might be a person that complains all the time, or that's always undercutting what you're doing. Whatever it is, you can unplug from it. Maybe it's, something on the radio you're hearing, etc. And then you can move. You can move. So if you're stressed out, you're looking up something or trying to solve something on your computer at work, right? Maybe just standing up. Okay. Just quickly rolling the shoulders, relaxing the face. It could be something as simple as that. And of course, there's my yoga for fear practice that you can enjoy anytime at teemaree.com/event. My name is Teemaree. I make transformation easy with products, practices, and coaching. This is ALLSWELL Lifestyle, and I do this every week, same place, same time, wherever you connected. You're going to get next week talks and music to feel good and be empowered with me, Teemaree. So definitely tune back in, come and see me. I want to show you what you